I remember the first day I heard English. It was a sunny day, and I was 7 years old. My father brought home a small radio. He switched it on, and a new voice filled our home. It spoke in a language I did not understand. It was English. The words were strange, but also beautiful. I felt curious. My father noticed my interest. He smiled and said, "This is English. It is a very important language." He explained how many people around the world speak English. He told me learning English would open many doors. I felt excited. I wanted to learn more. Tip 2. My first English class. Soon after, my parents enrolled me in an English class. I was nervous, but also eager. My teacher was kind. Her name was Mrs. Smith. She had a warm smile. She welcomed us all with open arms. Our first lesson was the alphabet. Mrs. Smith showed us colorful pictures. Each picture had a letter. "A is for apple," she said, holding up a red apple. We repeated after her, "A is for apple." We did this for every letter. By the end of the class, I could recite the entire alphabet. I felt proud. Tip 3. Learning new words. As days went by, we learned new words. Mrs. Smith used games and songs which made learning fun. We learned words for animals, colors, and objects around us. I loved learning new words. Every new word felt like a new friend. One day, Mrs. Smith brought a big book. It was a picture dictionary. It had pictures and words for everything. She showed us how to use it. I spent hours looking at the pictures and learning new words. My favorite word was butterfly. It sounded so pretty. Tip 4. Speaking English. Learning words was fun, but speaking was a challenge. I was shy. I was afraid of making mistakes. Mrs. Smith noticed this. She encouraged us to speak. She said, "It's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes help us learn." We practiced speaking in pairs. My partner was Sam. He was also shy. We helped each other. We took turns speaking simple sentences. "My name is," I would say. "My name is Sam," he would repeat slowly. We gained confidence. Tip 5. Reading English books. One day, Mrs. Smith gave us a surprise. She brought a box full of books. They were simple storybooks in English. She said, "Reading will help you learn faster." I picked a book with a bright cover. It was about a cat named Tom. Reading was hard at first. I had to look up many words, but I did not give up. The more I read, the easier it became. I started understanding the stories. Reading became my favorite activity. I would read a book every night before bed. Tip 6. Writing in English. After reading, the next step was writing. Mrs. Smith gave us notebooks. She asked us to write simple sentences. At first, I wrote about my family. "My mother is kind," I wrote. "My father is strong." Writing helped me remember words and sentences. Mrs. Smith checked our notebooks. She corrected our mistakes. She always wrote kind notes like "well done" or "good job." This encouraged me to write more. I started writing short stories. They were simple, but they made me happy. Tip 7. Watching English movies. One evening, my father brought home a DVD. It was a movie in English. He said, "Watching movies will help you learn." The movie was about a brave lion. At first, I did not understand much, but the pictures helped. Slowly, I started understanding more. Watching movies became a family activity. We watched cartoons, fairy tales, and adventure stories. Listening to English being spoken helped me improve. I started picking up new words and phrases. It was fun and educational. Tip 8. Making friends with English speakers. My school had an exchange program. Students from English-speaking countries visited us. They stayed with us for a week. I was excited, but also nervous. I wanted to make new friends, but worried about my English. My new friend was Emma. She was from England. Emma was friendly and patient. We talked about our favorite things. She taught me new words and corrected my sentences. Spending time with Emma improved my speaking skills. I realized speaking English could be fun. Tip 9. Writing letters. Emma and I decided to keep in touch. We wrote letters to each other. Writing letters was a great way to practice English. I wrote about my daily life, school, and friends. Emma wrote about her life in England. Receiving her letters made me happy. Each letter was a lesson. I learned new words and phrases. I also learned about life in another country. Writing to Emma improved my writing skills. It also made me more confident in expressing myself. Tip 10. Using English in everyday life. My parents encouraged me to use English at home. We started using English words for common things. "Please pass the salt," my mother would say. "Good night," I would reply. This daily practice helped me become more fluent. I also used English at the market. I greeted the shopkeeper in English. I asked for items in English. At first it felt strange, but soon it became natural. Using English in everyday life made a big difference. Tip 11. Joining an English club. Our school started an English club. It was a place where we could practice English. We played games, watched movies, and had discussions. I joined the club with my friends. It was a great way to practice English outside the classroom. The club had many activities. We had spelling bees, storytelling sessions, and debates. I loved participating. Each activity helped me improve my English. I also made new friends who shared my interest in learning. Tip 12. Attending English camps. During the summer, our school organized an English camp. It was a week-long camp in the countryside. We spoke only English during the camp. It was challenging, but also fun. We had lessons in the morning and activities in the afternoon. We went hiking, played sports, and sang songs, all in English. The camp improved my English skills a lot. It also made me more confident. I realized I could speak English for a whole week without any problems. Tip 13. Using English on the Internet. The Internet became a new tool for learning. I discovered websites for learning English. There were games, quizzes, and videos. I spent time on these websites every day. They made learning fun and interactive. I also joined online forums. I chatted with people from around the world. We discussed books, movies, and hobbies. This helped me practice my writing and reading skills. The Internet opened up a new world of learning. Tip 14. Reading newspapers and magazines. My father subscribed to an English newspaper. It arrived every morning. At first, I found it difficult to read. The articles were long and had many new words. But I did not give up. I started with the headlines and short articles. Reading the newspaper improved my vocabulary. I learned about world events and new topics. My reading speed also improved. Soon, I started reading English magazines too. They had interesting articles and pictures. Tip 15. Listening to English music became a new way to learn. I started listening to English songs. At first, I enjoyed the melody, but soon I began paying attention to the lyrics. I looked up the words I did not understand. Listening to music improved my listening skills. I also learned new expressions and slang. Singing along with the songs helped with my pronunciation. Music made learning English enjoyable. Tip 16. Attending English workshops. Our school organized English workshops. These were special classes with guest teachers. They taught us new techniques for learning. One workshop was about public speaking. Another was about creative writing. The workshops were interactive. We participated in activities and exercises. They helped me improve specific skills. I learned how to speak confidently in front of an audience. I also learned how to write stories creatively. Tip 17. Practicing with English apps. I discovered mobile apps for learning English. They had lessons, games, and quizzes. I downloaded a few on my phone. The apps were convenient. I could practice anytime, anywhere. One app helped with vocabulary, another focused on grammar, and there was also an app for pronunciation. Using these apps every day improved my skills. They were like having a personal tutor in my pocket. Tip 18. Watching English TV shows. I started watching English TV shows. They were fun and entertaining. I chose shows with simple language. My favorite was a show about a group of friends. Watching the show improved my listening skills. I learned how people spoke in real-life situations. I picked up common phrases and expressions. Watching TV shows also improved my pronunciation. I tried to mimic the way the characters spoke. Tip 19. Speaking with tourists. Our town had many tourists. They spoke different languages, including English. I decided to practice with them. I greeted them and offered to help. Most tourists were friendly and appreciated my effort. Speaking with tourists was real-life practice. It helped me use English in everyday situations. I also learned about different cultures. It was a great way to improve my speaking skills and confidence. Tip 20. Writing a diary. I started writing a diary in English every night. I wrote about my day. I described what I did, how I felt, and what I learned. Writing a diary helped me practice writing regularly. It also helped me reflect on my progress. I could see how my English improved over time. Writing about my thoughts and feelings improved my vocabulary and grammar. It became a habit I enjoyed. Tip 21. Participating in English contests. Our school held English contests. There were essay writing, speech, and spelling contests. I decided to participate. It was a way to challenge myself. I prepared by practicing and studying. The contests were tough, but rewarding. I did not always win, but I learned a lot. Participating improved my skills and confidence. It also motivated me to keep learning and improving. Tip 22. Using English in social media. I started using social media in English. I posted updates, shared articles, and commented on posts. Social media was a great platform to practice writing and reading. I connected with people from different countries. I joined groups and pages about my interests. We discussed books, movies, and hobbies. This helped me improve my writing and reading skills. It also made learning English more social and fun. Tip 23. Attending English courses. I enrolled in advanced English courses. They focused on specific skills like writing, speaking, and listening. The courses were more challenging. They required more effort and practice. The teachers were experienced and helpful. They gave us feedback and tips. The courses helped me improve my skills to a higher level. They also prepared me for exams and certifications. Tip 24. Preparing for English exams. I decided to take an English exam. It was an international test. Preparing for the exam was hard work. I studied grammar, vocabulary, and practice tests. I also took a preparation course. The exam tested all my skills: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. It was challenging but rewarding. I passed the exam with good scores. It was a proud moment. The certification opened new opportunities for me. Tip 25. Traveling to English-speaking countries. My dream was to visit an English-speaking country. My parents supported me. They helped me plan a trip to England. I was excited and nervous. It was my first time traveling alone. England was beautiful. I stayed with a host family. They were kind and welcoming. Speaking English every day improved my skills. I visited schools, museums, and parks. I made new friends and learned about the culture. Tip 26. Using English at work. After school, I got a job. It required English skills. I was happy to use what I had learned. I communicated with clients and colleagues in English. It was a great way to practice and improve. Using English at work improved my professional skills. I wrote emails, made presentations, and attended meetings. It also opened new opportunities for growth. My English skills were an asset. Tip 27. Joining English courses online. I discovered online courses. They were flexible and convenient. I could learn at my own pace. The courses covered various topics: business English, academic English, and more. I enrolled in a few courses. The online courses had videos, quizzes, and assignments. They were interactive and engaging. I could practice speaking, writing, and listening. The courses helped me improve my skills further. Tip 28. Reading English literature. I started reading English literature, classic books, poems, and plays. They were challenging but enriching. I started with simple books and gradually moved to more complex ones. Reading literature improved my vocabulary and comprehension. I also learned about different writing styles. It gave me a deeper understanding of the language. I enjoyed the stories and the beauty of the words. Tip 29. Practicing English with friends. I made friends who were also learning English. We practiced together. We had conversations, read books, and watched movies. Practicing with friends was fun and motivating. We helped each other with grammar and vocabulary. We also shared tips and resources. Learning with friends made the journey enjoyable. It was a great way to improve and support each other. Tip 30. Learning from mistakes. Throughout my journey, I made mistakes. I mispronounced words, used wrong grammar, and misunderstood meanings. But I learned from every mistake. They were part of the learning process. My teachers and friends encouraged me. They corrected my mistakes kindly. I realized making mistakes was okay. It was a way to learn and improve. Each mistake made me better. Tip 31. Celebrating achievements. Every milestone was a reason to celebrate. Learning the alphabet, reading a book, writing a story, passing an exam. Each achievement was a step forward. I celebrated with my family and friends. Celebrating achievements motivated me to keep going. It reminded me of how far I had come. It also gave me confidence to set new goals. Learning English was a journey of progress and celebration. Tip 32. Teaching others. I started teaching English to others. I helped younger students and friends. Teaching was a great way to reinforce my knowledge. It also gave me joy to help others learn. I realized teaching required patience and creativity. I used games, stories, and songs. I saw my students improve. It was rewarding to see them learn and grow. Teaching made me a better learner. Tip 33. Exploring English culture. Learning a language is also about learning the culture. I explored English culture through books, movies, and music. I learned about traditions, festivals, and history. Understanding the culture gave me a deeper appreciation of the language. It also made learning more interesting. I enjoyed discovering new aspects of English culture. Tip 34. Using English in travel. I traveled to other countries where English was spoken. It was a great way to practice. I now navigated airports, hotels, and restaurants. I met people from different backgrounds. Traveling improved my communication skills. It also gave me confidence. I realized I could use English anywhere in the world. It was a valuable skill for travel and exploration. Tip 35. Joining English communities. I joined English communities online and offline, clubs, forums, and groups. We shared resources, discussed topics, and practiced together. Being part of a community was motivating. I made new friends and learned from others. We supported each other's learning journey. It was a great way to stay connected and engaged. Learning with the community made the journey enjoyable. Tip 36. Setting new goals. My journey to learn English was ongoing. I set new goals, reading more books, writing better stories, speaking more fluently. Each goal was a new challenge. Setting goals kept me focused and motivated. It gave me direction and purpose. I worked towards my goals step by step. Each achievement was a reward. Tip 37. Reflecting on my journey. Looking back, my journey to learn English was filled with challenges and rewards. It required effort, patience, and persistence, but it was also enjoyable and fulfilling. I realized learning a language is a lifelong journey. There is always something new to learn. I was proud of my progress and excited about the future. My journey to learn English was a story of growth and discovery. Tip 38. Inspiring others. I shared my story with others. I wanted to inspire them. Learning a language is possible for everyone. It requires dedication and practice, but it is also so fun and rewarding. I encouraged others to start their journey, to take small steps every day, to enjoy the process, and to celebrate achievements. Learning English opened many doors for me. It can do the same for others. Tip 39. Embracing lifelong learning. I embraced lifelong learning. English was just one part of it. I wanted to keep learning and growing, to explore new languages, skills, and knowledge. Lifelong learning is a mindset. It is about being curious and open. It is about enjoying the journey of discovery. Learning English was the beginning. There was so much more to explore. Tip 40. My message to you. If you are learning English, keep going. It is a journey worth taking. Start with small steps. Use simple words and short sentences. Practice every day. Enjoy the process and celebrate your achievements. Remember, mistakes are part of learning. Learn from them. Use every opportunity to practice. Read, write, speak, and listen. Surround yourself with English. Use it in everyday life. Join a community. Make friends who share your interest, help and support each other. Stay motivated and focused. Set new goals and work towards them. Keep learning and growing. Learning English will open many doors for you. It will connect you with people around the world. It will give you new opportunities. It is a journey of growth and discovery. Enjoy every step of it. Building vocabulary. Building vocabulary is very important for speaking English well. When you know more words, you can talk about more things. Start by learning words that you use every day. For example, learn the name of things in your house like table, chair, or door. Use these words in sentences to practice. You can say, I sit on the chair, or the door is open. Repeat these sentences every day, and soon these words will become easy for you to use. Another way to build your vocabulary is by reading simple English books or watching English videos. When you see or hear a new word, write it down in a notebook. Try to use this new word in your conversations. For example, if you learn the word happy, you can say, I am happy today. This will help you remember the word better. Also, try to learn phrases, not just single words. Phrases like, good morning, how are you, or thank you are very useful in daily conversations. Improving pronunciation. Good pronunciation is key to speaking English well. It makes it easier for others to understand you. One way to improve is by listening to how native speakers talk. Listen carefully to how they say each word and try to copy them. You can use online videos or English language apps that focus on pronunciation. These tools often let you repeat after the speaker and check if you are saying the words correctly. Another technique is to practice speaking in front of a mirror. Watch how your mouth moves when you say different words. This helps you see if you are pronouncing words correctly. You can also record yourself speaking and listen to the recording. Compare your pronunciation with that of a native speaker. This will help you identify the sounds you need to improve. Remember, it's okay to make mistakes. The more you practice, the better your pronunciation will become. Overcoming the fear of speaking. Many people are afraid to speak English, especially in public. This fear can stop you from learning, But remember, everyone makes mistakes when learning a new language. To overcome this fear, start by speaking English in safe environments. Practice with friends or family members who are supportive. You can also practice by talking to yourself at home. Say simple sentences like, I am eating breakfast, or I will go to the market. The more you practice, the more confident you will become. Another way to build confidence is by starting small. Don't worry about speaking perfectly. Focus on getting your message across. If you don't know a word, use simple language to explain what you mean. For example, if you forget the word umbrella, you can say, I need something to protect me from the rain. Over time, you will find that speaking English becomes easier, and your fear will slowly disappear. Understanding different English accents. Understanding different English accents can be challenging, but it is important for communication. English is spoken in many countries, and each country has its own accent. To get used to different accents, listen to English speakers from various places. You can find videos or podcasts from the UK, the US, Australia, and other English-speaking countries. Pay attention to how words are pronounced differently in each accent. Don't worry if you don't understand everything at first. With time, your ear will get used to the different sounds. Try repeating sentences you hear to practice. For example, if you are listening to a British speaker, notice how they say water or schedule. Try to mimic their accent. This practice will help you adapt your speech to different accents, making it easier to understand and communicate with people from various backgrounds. Using idioms in conversation. Using idioms in conversation makes your English sound more natural and interesting. Idioms are phrases that don't mean exactly what the words say, but are common in everyday speech. For example, it's raining cats and dogs means it's raining very heavily. Learning idioms can be fun. Start with the most common ones. Try to learn 1 or 2 idioms each week and use them in your conversations. When you learn a new idiom, practice it in a sentence. For example, if you learn the idiom break the ice, which means to make people feel more comfortable, you can say, I told a joke to break the ice at the party. Using idioms in real-life conversations helps you remember them better. Soon, you will find yourself using them naturally, which will impress the people you are speaking with. Practicing with native speakers. Practicing with native speakers is one of the best ways to improve your English. Native speakers can help you learn how to use words and phrases correctly. If you don't know any native speakers, there are online platforms where you can find language exchange partners. These are people who want to learn your language while helping you learn English. You can talk to them through video calls or chat messages. When practicing with a native speaker, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Native speakers understand that English is not your first language, and they are usually patient and helpful. Ask them to correct you if you say something wrong. This feedback is valuable because it helps you learn and improve. Over time, you will become more comfortable speaking English, and your fluency will increase. Role-playing common situations. Role-playing common situations is a great way to practice English. Think about situations you often find yourself in, like ordering food at a restaurant, asking for directions, or making a phone call. Practice these situations in English. You can do this with a friend or even by yourself. For example, pretend you are at a restaurant and say, "I would like to order a pizza, please." This practice helps you get used to speaking English in real-life situations. You can also write down conversations you might have in these situations. For example, if you are practicing making an appointment, write down what you would say, like, "I would like to make an appointment with the doctor." Then practice saying it out loud. The more you practice, the more natural these conversations will feel. Role-playing helps you prepare for real-life situations, making it easier to speak English when you need to. Listening to English media. Listening to English media is an excellent way to improve your spoken English. By listening to podcasts, audiobooks, and movies, you expose yourself to different voices, accents, and vocabulary. Choose media that you enjoy so that listening becomes a fun activity. Start with something simple, like children's stories or educational podcasts designed for English learners. As you get better, try listening to more complex materials like news reports or movies. When you listen, pay attention to how people speak. Notice the tone, speed, and rhythm of their speech. Try repeating sentences to practice your pronunciation and intonation. For example, if you hear someone say, "I'm going to the store," repeat it in the same way they said it. Listening and repeating helps improve your speaking skills and makes you more familiar with natural English speech patterns. Technology can be a great tool for practicing speaking. There are many apps and websites that help you practice English by speaking. Some apps allow you to have conversations with virtual characters, while others connect you with real people around the world. These tools are convenient because you can use them anytime, anywhere. They also give you instant feedback, helping you improve faster. Another way to use technology is by recording yourself speaking. Many apps have a recording feature that lets you listen to your own voice. You can compare your recording with a native speaker's voice to see where you need to improve. This practice helps you become more aware of your pronunciation and speaking style. The more you use these tools, the better your spoken English will become. Understanding grammar is important for clear communication in spoken English. However, you don't need to know all the rules perfectly to speak well. Focus on the basic grammar rules that are most useful in daily conversations. For example, learn how to use simple tenses like the present, past, and future. Practice making sentences like, "I eat breakfast every day," "I ate breakfast yesterday," or "I will eat breakfast tomorrow." Also, pay attention to word order in sentences. In English, the order usually follows the pattern of subject, verb, and object. For example, she, subject, plays, verb, the piano, object. Practice making sentences with different subjects, verbs, and objects. This will help you speak more clearly and avoid common grammar mistakes. Over time, you will find that using correct grammar becomes easier and more natural. Doing daily speaking exercises is a great way to improve your fluency. One simple exercise is to talk about your day in English every evening. Take a few minutes to describe what you did during the day. For example, you can say, "Today I went to the market. I bought some apples and oranges." This exercise helps you practice using the past tense and talking about everyday activities. Another exercise is to pick a topic and speak about it for 1 minute. For example, choose a topic like my favorite food and talk about it in English. Don't worry about making mistakes. The goal is to get used to speaking English. You can also practice by reading aloud. Pick a simple text or book and read it out loud every day. This helps you improve your pronunciation and speaking speed. The more you practice, the more fluent you will become. Staying motivated while learning English is very important. Learning a new language takes time, and sometimes it can be difficult to stay motivated. Set small goals for yourself. For example, you can set a goal to learn 5 new words each week, or to have a short conversation in English every day. Celebrate your progress, even if it's small. This will help you stay positive and keep going. Another way to stay motivated is by reminding yourself why you are learning English. Maybe you want to travel, make new friends, or get a better job. Whatever your reason, keep it in mind. You can also join a group of people who are also learning English. This way, you can support each other and share tips and ideas. Remember, it's okay to take breaks when you need to. The important thing is to keep practicing and not give up. The shadowing technique is a powerful way to improve your speaking skills. Shadowing means listening to a native speaker and repeating what they say as quickly as possible. This technique helps you practice pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. To do this, find a short audio or video clip in English. Listen to a sentence, and then immediately repeat it out loud. Try to copy the speaker's tone and speech speed. You can start with slow and simple sentences and gradually move to faster and more complex ones. Shadowing helps you get used to speaking quickly and naturally. It also helps you improve your listening skills, as you need to pay close attention to what the speaker is saying. Do this exercise regularly, and you will see a big improvement in your fluency and pronunciation. Using visual aids can make learning English more interesting and effective. Visual aids include pictures, videos, charts, and other materials that help you understand and remember words and phrases. For example, if you are learning the names of fruits, look at pictures of apples, bananas, and oranges while saying the words. This helps you connect the word with the image, making it easier to remember. Videos are also great visual aids. Watching videos in English with subtitles can help you learn new words and see how they are used in context. For example, if you watch a cooking video, you will learn words related to food and cooking. Try to describe what you see in the video in English. This practice helps you use new vocabulary and improves your speaking skills. The more you use visual aids, the better you will remember and use English words in conversation. Intonation is the rise and fall of your voice when you speak. It helps convey meaning and emotion in spoken English. For example, when you ask a question, your voice usually goes up at the end like, "Are you coming?" Understanding and using intonation correctly makes your English sound more natural and helps others understand you better. To practice intonation, listen to native speakers and pay attention to how their voices change during a conversation. Try to mimic their intonation patterns. For example, if you hear someone say, "I can't believe it," notice how their voice goes up to show surprise. Practice saying the same sentence with the same intonation. This will help you express your feelings and ideas more clearly in English. The more you practice, the more natural your intonation will become. Group discussions are a great way to practice speaking English with others. In a group, you have the chance to talk about different topics, listen to others, and learn new words. To get started, join an English-speaking group or create one with your friends. Choose a topic to discuss, like movies, books, or current events. Take turns speaking and try to use new words or phrases that you have learned. Group discussions also help you practice listening and responding to others. For example, if someone in the group says, "I like reading mystery novels," you can respond with, "Me too." "What's your favorite book?" This type of interaction helps you practice speaking naturally and improves your conversational skills. The more you participate in group discussions, the more confident you will become in speaking English. Making mistakes is a natural part of learning any language, including English. It's important to understand that mistakes are not bad. They are opportunities to learn. When you make a mistake, don't feel embarrassed or discouraged. Instead, take it as a chance to improve. For example, if you say a word incorrectly and someone corrects you, try to remember the correct pronunciation and use it next time. One way to learn from mistakes is by keeping a language journal. Write down any mistakes you make while speaking or writing in English. Then, review your journal regularly and practice the correct way to say or write the words. Over time, you will notice that you are making fewer mistakes and becoming more confident in your English skills. Remember, every mistake you make brings you one step closer to mastering the language. Breaking down complex sentences into simpler ones can make it easier to speak English. Sometimes we want to express a complicated idea, but we don't know how to say it in English. Instead of trying to say everything in one long sentence, break it down into smaller parts. For example, instead of saying, "I was late because the bus didn't come on time, and then I had to walk," you can say, "I was late. The bus didn't come on time. Then I had to walk." This way, you can express your ideas clearly without worrying about making grammar mistakes. As you get better, you can start combining sentences to make them more complex. For example, you can say, "I was late because the bus didn't come on time, so I had to walk." Practicing this technique helps you feel more comfortable speaking English, even when you have a lot to say. Understanding the cultural context in language is important for effective communication. English is spoken in many different cultures, and the way people use language can vary depending on their culture. For example, in some cultures, people might be very direct when they speak, while in others, they might be more indirect. Understanding these differences can help you avoid misunderstandings and communicate more effectively. To learn about cultural differences, try watching movies or reading books from different English-speaking countries. Pay attention to how people interact with each other. For example, notice how people greet each other in the UK versus the US. You can also talk to native speakers and ask them about their culture. The more you learn about the cultural context, the better you will understand and use English in different situations. Setting realistic speaking goals is important for your progress in learning English. It's good to be ambitious, but it's also important to set goals that you can achieve. For example, if you are a beginner, don't aim to speak like a native speaker in a few months. Instead, set small, manageable goals, like learning 10 new words a week or practicing speaking for 10 minutes every day. Once you achieve a small goal, set a new one that is a bit more challenging. For example, after learning 10 new words a week, try to use those words in a conversation. Setting and achieving these goals will keep you motivated and help you see your progress over time. Remember to be patient with yourself. Learning to speak English well takes time, but with consistent practice and realistic goals, you will improve. You can use these tips and techniques to improve your spoken English every day. Practice regularly, be patient, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. The more you speak, listen, and learn, the better you will become at speaking English. Whether you are just starting or have been learning for a while, these strategies will help you reach your goal of speaking English fluently and confidently.